So let me start this video by saying wow. This is MSFS 2020 flying over Liverpool in VR using the Bigscreen Beyond, and this is part of a full day in VR. I've currently been in the Somnium VR1 for about 2 hours, and I've just switched over to the Bigscreen Beyond, so I thought why not do an A/B comparison, just of the visual fidelity really, mainly, and you know, things like comfort, the things that matter. Look at the photogrammetry here, this is absolutely spectacular. So the Bigscreen Beyond, what is it like having just been in the VR1 for about 2 hours? I thought I would jump back into this and feel a bit underwhelmed, a bit frustrated, you know, by the small sweet spot and the glare, and in some ways I am. You know, the glare is something that is a bit of a pain in this headset. It's a weird thing because sometimes, depending on the aircraft and perhaps the weather, lighting conditions, it's just not an issue at all, but other times it can be. And I've also noticed that when using the Bigscreen Beyond for about 2 or 3 weeks solid, you do tend to get used to it. But credit where credit is due, this headset seems to pull off something very, very special that is unique to the Beyond. Look at this view here. And sorry by the way if it's a bit jittery. Keep in mind I am talking with a 200 gram VR headset on my face, and my face moves when I talk, and I don't have any access to image stabilization, unfortunately. Any tips from people in the comments, please let me know. But in the headset it looks absolutely superb and smooth. But yeah, the Bigscreen Beyond, it does 3 things amazingly well. First of all, the comfort. It is the most comfortable headset on the planet because it's so tiny, incredibly tiny, very comfortable, and since the facial interface is molded to your face shape because it's scanned using an iPhone though, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if they've changed that or not, but you do need someone with an iPhone to scan your face, and then you get a facial interface which is completely molded to your face shape, which is pretty mind-blowing. That means you get 0 light leakage, and it's just amazingly comfortable. But also Micro OLED technology, which I've said many times now is the future of VR. Well, I hope it is anyway, because it is absolutely fantastic. There is 0 Mura. That's sort of like, you know, the greying and fogging effect that you sometimes get when you get pixel inconsistencies in terms of the brightness. That's not a thing with Micro OLED. And you get, of course, OLED levels of colour. That is amazing, deep, rich blacks and beautiful, vivid colours. Well, I say vivid, I don't mean in an unnatural way, I mean in a very lifelike way. I mean, OLED beats everything, to be honest. In some ways, QLED is better in the sense that you get a brighter panel, but OLED just feels so much nicer to look through. It's just beautiful. So it does those things incredibly well, but also something else which has surprised me. Having been in the Somnium VR1 with its super insanely sharp, crisp panel, well, I thought I would go back to this and feel a bit disappointed with the clarity, but I'm not. I really am not. And for those of you out there that have a decent GPU, like a 4070 Ti upwards, you can super sample the Beyond, and it looks as sharp as the Pimax Crystal. Doesn't look quite as sharp as the VR1, which I think is fair enough to say. The only thing is, it does have issues with glare. Now, depending upon the aircraft you're flying, the type of probably lighting conditions that you're looking at, the high contrast scenes, that glare will either be quite annoying or completely a non-issue. And I have noticed, and this is only something you can say when you live with this headset, and that's what I do on this channel. I don't just do one review, I live with these headsets to give you all of the information. When using the Bigscreen Beyond for say 2 or 3 weeks solid, which I have done many times now, the glare becomes less of an issue for me. I get used to it. And I don't really think that's a good thing or a bad thing, because glare is annoying, but you do kind of get used to it. So comparing the Bigscreen Beyond to the Somnium VR1, it's a stripped down, unapologetically, you know, PC VR headset that's all about the visual fidelity and comfort. It doesn't have eye tracking, it doesn't have mixed reality pass-through, hand tracking, none of that stuff. It's just a Micro OLED VR headset with super visuals, super sharp, clear display, and the best comfort you've ever experienced. It's very bumpy. Not only am I talking with this headset on, of course, but it's also very bumpy, and I'm in my motion rig. So I'm sorry if this is a little bit jerky, guys. Look at this photogrammetry. And especially now I've got integrated audio with the audio comfort strap. It's got the very thing that I moan about with so many different VR headsets, and that is integrated audio. It's the whole package, and listen to this microphone. It sounds so good. Now here's some good news. There is still a discount code that is running for this headset. I'll just show you on the screen now basically the dates for when it's running. And you get about £57 to £60 off a Bigscreen Beyond, which will definitely help towards getting that base station, because this does need base stations, but one is enough, especially for general aviation flying. Unless you're doing combat and you need to look behind you, one base station is enough. I think in a sea of headsets which are getting bigger and bigger, more bulkier and more expensive, I think the Bigscreen Beyond does make a lot of sense. It really does, especially with the audio strap. It's absolutely a joy. And it's worth noting that this does run a lot faster. I can get 75 frames per second at native resolution, and even super sampled, I'm up to about 50 frames per second in this. And that is because pancake lenses need less barrel distortion correction. So you're closer to that sort of native resolution to begin with. And if you super sample, it's still less than it would be for a VR1 at native resolution. Now obviously another big difference between them both is the lenses. With the Somnium VR1, the dual aspheric lens design means you do get a better field of view, but also a much wider sweet spot. You know, wow, it's a massive difference, to be fair, and that is one of the major differences. But to be fair, because of the Bigscreen Beyond, how light it is on your face, you do have to look around a lot more with your head than your eyes, but it's not so bad because there's less inertia, if that makes sense. But that is a major difference between them both. And in fact, the Somnium VR1 overall is, well, in terms of the sweet spot, edge-to-edge clarity, whilst in the geometric sweet spot, which is a lot wider as well, is worlds apart from many headsets, not just the Bigscreen Beyond. Then there's the brightness. Of course, the Somnium VR1 is not just brighter than the Bigscreen Beyond, but it's the brightest headset that I've come across to date. But one good thing about the Bigscreen Beyond is because of the facial interface and the complete zero light leakage, the photons, or whatever you call it, that go into your eyes, the brightness of that screen, well, you don't lose any of them. Wow, it's getting very violent here as we're getting very near the Welsh mountainside. Oh my god, I'm in the motion rig and that is extremely violent. In terms of the field of view figures, well, that will vary depending on your face shape, of course, but for me, the Bigscreen Beyond is a solid 102 degrees horizontal, and the Somnium VR1 horizontally is 120 degrees, and that depends on how I actually wear the headset. So that's also a factor that you need to think about. With the Bobo M2 head strap, which I find is more comfortable, I actually do lose a bit of that horizontal field of view. Vertically, actually the Bigscreen Beyond is better at 102 degrees, roughly, because I can't remember exactly, but it's around 102 degrees vertically, but the Somnium VR1 is around 95, 96 degrees. So yeah, just thought I'd make this little video here, and I'm really surprised, having used the Somnium VR1 for 2 hours, going back to the Bigscreen Beyond, I don't feel disappointed. It still looks really good. It still really impresses me. I think that's the takeaway for this video today. It's even compared to the super high end in terms of the visual fidelity, the Bigscreen Beyond punches well above its weight. Anyway folks, thanks so much for watching. I'm now going to head to Carnarvon in Wales. I can't wait for MSFS 2024 guys, it's so exciting. And just think what this headset will look like with the new lighting effects as well. Wow. See you soon folks, take care and bye for now.